एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू अनदर वीडियो और आपका आज की वीडियो।
स्वागत
आज
है।
जो वीडियो हम लेकर आए हैं उसका टाइटल है
हाउ IPL जर्सीज आर इंजीनियर टू प्रिंट मनी।
तो चलिए देख लेते हैं ये वीडियो। लेकिन इससे पहले
इस वीडियो चैनल का रिचल लिंक आपको हमारी वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। सब्सक्राइब किया, लाइक शेयर का फॉलो कीजिए चैनल को। उसके अलावा व्लॉग चैनल के लिंक भी हमारी वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन मिल जाएगा। सब्सक्राइब किया, लाइक शेयर का फॉलो करें।
चलिए देख लेते हैं ये वीडियो।
100 crores. That's the amount the brand Nothing has paid to be present on RCB's jersey front, starting IPL 2026. But here's what makes the number more interesting, that this is not even the most expensive IPL front of jersey deal this year. Mumbai Indians have signed a 120 crore 3-year deal with a brand called as Lauritz Knudsen. I hope I got that name right. So the obvious question would be, why would an electrical brand pay so much amount of money? And the answer to that opens up something that nobody actually talks about. The logo on the front of the jersey is just one spot. There are multiple other monetized spots on that jersey. And behind each of those advertising spots is a pricing logic so deliberate, so specific, that every single centimeter of that jersey has been engineered like an advertising product. But here is what makes it more interesting. Royal Challengers Bangalore alone has 30 brands as partners for just one team, for just one season. So while everyone is watching the multiple logos visible on the jersey, there is an entire sponsorship business happening behind it. Over 600 million people viewed IPL in 2025. And they saw these logos not just in an ad break, or not on billboards, or not just in advertising material. They saw this logo visible on the players while they were playing on the field, on their sleeves, on their chest, on the back of their jersey, on their trousers, on their helmets. 10 teams played 14 matches each during the season. So the logos were visible across all these 14 matches for a period of 2 months continuously. So in today's video, we are trying to decode 3 things. First, how each spot on a jersey is valued and why brands pick that specific slot. Second, there's an entire sponsorship opportunity which exists which is not visible on the jersey, and that market is rapidly expanding. And thirdly, why brands pick specific teams and what the smartest brands know that the others don't. Let's decode that. Before we get into details of every slot, let's understand the single principle that drives pricing on an IPL jersey. Every pricing decision of the slot is based on how much time that logo actually spends on television. Before the IPL started in 2008, team jerseys in cricket were simple. There was one logo possibly on the front of the jersey, and there was one probably on the side sleeve, which could be a kitting partner for each of the country's teams. IPL changed the entire economics of a jersey. When IPL started, it was looked upon as an advertising gimmick. A lot of old school cricket fans looked at the IPL and said that the players are like advertising billboards with so many logos present on their jerseys. But these people had no idea about the commercial viability that these logos brought to the teams to make them financially viable. Think about what the broadcast camera is actually doing during a match. When a batsman is at the crease, the camera at the bowler's end is pointing directly at their chest. When a bowler runs in, the camera follows their action. When a fielder takes a catch, the close-up is on their upper body. When the captain gets interviewed at the toss, camera on their chest. Every single one of these moments is a brand impression. Every brand impression adds on, and that adds to the overall dollar value that is generated for the brand for associating with an IPL team jersey. This overall brand value, whether it's front of the jersey, whether it's side of the jersey, whether it's back of the jersey, is then calculated and gives the value of the sponsorship deal for that particular slot. And different parts of the jersey get different amounts of time visible on television. More camera time means more cost. Simple. So we will try and break up this video into 2 parts of jersey sponsorships. One, where logos are visible on a team's jersey. By jersey, I also mean trouser as well as a cap/helmet. And the other part is where the logo is not visible on any apparel or cap or jersey. That itself is a huge revenue chunk. Alright, remember this one rule. Camera time equals money. Now let's see how exactly that plays out, giving an example of Royal Challengers Bangalore, slot by slot, explaining each slot as we go along. The front of the jersey. This is the most premium inventory in the entire kit, bar none. The front of the jersey is mostly always in the frame. This slot is also very premium because it's only one logo that could be visible there. There are no other logos on the front of the jersey, just one. And the numbers here are serious. The front of the jersey deals in IPL go from between 20 crores per year to over 30 crores per year. The bigger the teams, the bigger the demand that they have for selling their jersey fronts. Look at how the front of jersey deals have panned across the IPL 2026 season. Gujarat Titans brought in Birla Estates. Kolkata Knight Riders onboarded Hero Vida, an electric mobility brand. Lucknow Super Giants signed JK Super Cement. Punjab Kings got CP+. Sunrisers Hyderabad partnered with Shree Cement. And then there are the outliers. Royal Challengers Bangalore signed up with nothing for a 100 crore 3-year deal that replaced Qatar Airways, who were the previous front of jersey sponsors. And as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, this deal is not even the biggest front of jersey deals in IPL. Lauritz Knudsen is Mumbai Indians jersey front partner. They've signed a deal for a 3-year period which is valued at 120 crores. This could be one of the largest IPL front of jersey deals in the history of the league. And here's what makes that number worth sitting with. That is not 120 crores for a billboard or a TV ad or a 30-second spot. That is 120 crores for a logo that sits on the chest of every MI player in every match across 3 full IPL seasons, which is watched by hundreds of millions of people who are not watching an ad. They are watching cricket, and the brand just happens to be there. That distinction, interruption versus presence, is exactly why this inventory commands a price that it does. That's about the front of the jersey. One brand, one spot. And now move to the upper right corner of the jersey and you come to another premium spot on the IPL jersey, the upper right chest. Just above the nothing logo sits another giant brand, Sun Pharma, one of India's largest pharmaceutical companies. Now you must be wondering why a logo is only present on the upper right chest. Well, the lower side of the chest is reserved for a team logo, closest to the heart. The upper right chest gets picked up heavily on camera, whether it's in press interactions, whether a player is playing, whether it's walking onto the field. It's one of the most highly visible slots on an IPL jersey. That's the front half of the jersey accounted for. Now let's flip it around. Let's move to the back of the jersey. Let's see what brand RCB has accounted for on back of their jersey. The back of the jersey is again a single logo. There is no other logo competing with it to occupy that spot. The back of the jersey is visible majorly where a bowler is bowling or a fielder is fielding and the camera is panning from behind. It is again a largish logo and it allows for a brand to have a very significant spot on a jersey. For RCB in IPL 2026, that brand is Balkrishna Tyres, an Indian brand that has gone global with international presence in multiple countries.
Now let's talk about the sleeves.
The IPL has created a beautiful scenario of dividing the jerseys into leading arm and non-leading arm. Now here's what I mean by leading arm. When a batter is getting ready to face a bowler, he's using one of his shoulders to hold the bat and hence the arm is visible to that bowler and hence to the camera. This is then called the leading arm. So if it's a right-handed batter, he's facing the batter, his left arm becomes his leading arm. The other side of the arm, which is not facing the bowler and hence the camera, becomes the non-leading arm. As an IPL rule, on the leading arm, there is one logo which is reserved for the tournament logo. The other logo could be sold by a team and that is sold to Jio by RCB for IPL 2026. On the non-leading arm, RCB has two logos which are visible. There is Confirm Ticket and there is Puma, who is also a kitting partner for them. Moving on to the trousers. Yes, even the trousers are monetized. The trousers have two spots which a brand can be present in. And for RCB, there are two brands, MV, a solar energy company, and Atlassian, the Australian enterprise software company. Let's move on to the cap/helmet. The cap/helmet also has two logos that could be visible. RCB for IPL 2026 have Nippon paints on the back of the cap/helmet and they have boat on the side of the cap/helmet. The front of the cap or the helmet is reserved for the team logo. So how is this jersey value calculated? Well, there is a currency value for every time that a logo is visible on television. For example, if a logo is visible at 8 o'clock, then that specific time slot when the logo is visible has a dollar value basis the time that the logo is visible at. So for example, 7:30 is the start of an IPL. The IPL viewership would probably peak at say 8:39. So at 8:39, that specific spot gets a higher value. So every time the logo is visible on television, a software picks it up. It adds up the overall value of the brand, the logo that is visible throughout that match, pre-match, post-match and gives a value for every game. That is how a value for a brand is calculated through the season. It's calculated per match, it's added up, it's broken down into where it is visible, whether it's visible on the jersey front, whether it's visible through ground boards, whether it's visible through any other media. And that's how the entire media value is calculated for a brand sponsorship. There are specialized sports companies, Nielsen for example, who do this as a professional service for all the sporting teams and brands who associate with teams. They submit reports to teams at the end of every season where they give a breakup of how a sponsor gets value by associating with that team and that particular spot that they take the sponsorship for. There's a currency value that is derived, which is helpful for teams to go into market and offer their sponsorship services for next year and also justify why a sponsor has got a particular value for associating with their team. Apart from the visibility that the brand gets on the logos of the IPL teams, what else do brands get as a part of the sponsorship deliverables? Well, there are certain key highlights. Basis the position and the money that the brand is paying, they get those deliverables. If you're a principal sponsor for an IPL team, these are the deliverables that you get as a sponsor. Exclusivity in the brand category that the sponsor gets in. Branding on the training jersey. The IPL has crafted a beautiful rule where a brand is supposed to use a minimum of 3 players with equal weightage for any kind of promotions that they're doing with the team. This is to protect player imagery so that a brand cannot portray that a certain player like a MS Dhoni or a Virat Kohli are their brand ambassadors. That's why the players are always grouped together in a minimum number of 3 players in an appearance or an image shoot. Also, all the creatives need to be approved by the team so that the brand can then accordingly use it. Player appearances, again, minimum of 3 players could go up to the entire team also. LED perimeter boards for the home matches of that particular team. LED big screens at the home games for those particular teams. Rights to present awards for the home matches of that particular team. Brand logo on dugout, headers and seats. Rights to be a match day partner for some of the home games of that particular team. Rights to distribute cheering items, 4s and 6s signs at the home stadium of that particular team. In stadia branding at home matches. Tickets, which is a valuable currency, both hospitality and general admission. Signed memorabilia of players from that team. Logo on all advertising branding of the team's marketing material. Presence on giveaways, logo on website, social media support with some co-branded posts. So each brand that associates with the team does not get all these deliverables. The deliverables for a brand are decided basis the amount that he's paying and the slot that he's taking for the team sponsorship. So this is not just the only sponsorship levels for an IPL team. This is just the entry level. There are entire gamut of opportunities available to associate with an IPL team. Let's have a look at those. Sponsors that you don't see. The IPL teams have found a way to monetize sponsorships in all forms. So there are brands who do not necessarily get logo visibility on that jersey of that IPL team, but they are still partners with IPL teams. So how does this partnership work? The IPL teams partner with multiple brands, giving exclusivity to that particular brand in that particular category. They could do partnerships with many categories like that. A nutrition partner, a pizza partner, a hydration partner, a luggage partner, a kitting partner. There could be a chairs partner, a cupboard partner. The categories could go on. Like we mentioned early in our video, RCB has over 30 partners currently for IPL 2026. While these brand partners do not get any logo visibility and are not visible on the jersey for the IPL teams, they still have a lot to gain from associating with these IPL teams. They can use the team name, imagery, logo, player imagery that the team allocates to them for usage in their marketing promotions, thereby creating some unique proposition for them to sell, to make relevant their products to their particular TG. For example, there could be a stationery partner for whom children are a major TG. Now, even if this stationery partner does not want to associate with RCB via a logo presence, he can take a licensing rights, becoming an official partner for the team, and thereby creating RCB branded pencils, pens, notebooks, which are appealing for young children who are RCB fans. Now we go into one tier deeper, into a tier of sponsorship that I believe most teams will start exploiting as years go by. digital and content partnerships. It's been 18 seasons of the IPL, and with social media and content becoming so important, most teams have accumulated a huge social media fan base. Maybe teams like Gujarat and Lucknow, who are new into the league, are still into the process of making their fan base strong. Let's take an example of how Royal Challengers Bangalore have exploited this. RCB have produced 100 plus videos in a single season and has over 450 million plus video views. A dedicated app with 3 million plus users, 30 million plus social media followers, a podcast, multiple long form content series, RCB Insider, 12th Man TV, Game Day, Bold Diaries. They are ranked among the top sports teams globally on Instagram engagement, ahead of even teams like FC Barcelona, Manchester United and PSG during IPL season windows. Think about what this means. This is not just a cricket team with a social media account. This is a media company that also plays cricket. And that single reframe changes everything about how you value sponsorship here. Every content property that RCB have built is a separate property. Each show presents the RCB podcast. Big Basket has associated with RCB the Insider Show. Each is a distinct deal where a brand is paying separately to own a content format rather than partnering a team broadly. The shelf life of a content partnership is immense. Here is the biggest difference between a jersey sponsorship and a content sponsorship. Content partnerships have a unique value because the content lives permanently and the exposure to that content only gains value over a period of time. Now here's the question that actually drives all of this. Why do brands pick specific IPL teams over the others? Why does a Qatar Airways pick RCB over Mumbai Indians to be associated with? Brands don't just buy cricket. They have specific decisions to make when they associate with an IPL team. The first one is popularity. Well, certain teams are most watched, more followed on social media than others. It's a fact. Teams like Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings are immensely popular. Their social media traction is beyond most sports teams in India. That's why the propensity for them to draw brands to them is very high. They also have some marquee players who've been associated with the team for many years. That helps the team build its brand value. So when a top brand wants to make a mark in sports sponsorships, his first go would be to go pick a team which is highly popular and highly visible. The second reasons, fan demographics and geography. Well, not all brands are national. Some brands want to attain popularity or reach in a certain region that their market is visible in. If a brand is present only in, say, Rajasthan, then it makes sense for them to only associate with the team Rajasthan Royals. There is also a case where a brand wants to touch multiple markets through IPL sponsorships. Hence, they associate with multiple teams. A brand like BKT or Jio, who is present on multiple IPL teams, might be using this strategy. The third one, brand identity fit. There are certain brands who want to be projected in a particular way. For example, a team like an RCB positions itself at an intersection of sports, lifestyle and culture. Well, this positioning is very unique and it offers a team to sell sponsorships to brands who align with this kind of association. That's why brands like Nothing, Qatar Airways, Happilo and Puma fit into the RCB stable. On the other hand, teams like Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings have won so many titles in the IPL. Their positioning is of being a winner, a trust-based franchisee where brands could partner with. Kolkata Knight Riders, owned by Shah Rukh Khan, brings a Bollywood angle to brands. It allows for brands to associate with a team that is aligned with an owner who is into mass entertainment. Well, these are some reasons, as you saw, why brands associate with IPL teams. What's the future of IPL sponsorships? Well, this pie is only going to get bigger. Most IPL teams are expanding the number of associations that they're doing. They're finding innovative categories and doing partnerships with them. It's a great way for brands to be associated with cricket, which is so popular. And as we go along in the cycle, with the next media cycle being so important for all IPL teams, the focus will be on them to increase the number of sponsorships that they can get. They're not just depending on huge media rights to be able to sustain the brand. That's all from this episode. Write to us, tell us about which brands that you find are appealing in this IPL, which is that brand partnership that you see with a team that is most visible for you. We'd love to hear from you. Put in your thoughts in the comment section. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.
मैं कहूँगी काफ़ी इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियो थी, क्योंकि इससे पहले जब हम लोगों ने आईपीएल से रिलेटेड वीडियोस देखी थी तो ये देखा था कि आईपीएल जो है वो किस तरीके से बिजनेस करता है और आईपीएल कितना रिच है। लाइक अगर हम लोग मतलब बोर्ड की भी बात करें, इंडियन क्रिकेट बोर्ड की भी बात करें, यानी कि बीसीसीआई की भी बात करें, वो कितना रिच है। लेकिन आज जो ब्रांडिंग दिखाई गई इससे पहले हम लोगों ने टीवी एड्स की ब्रांडिंग के बारे में वीडियोस देखी थी, बट जर्सी को लेकर और ट्राउज़र को लेकर, हेलमेट को लेकर किस तरीके से आप कह लो कि वो एक पोर्शन ही कहेंगे कि जो एक प्रीमियम पोर्शन होता है जर्सी का, उसको चूज़ किया जाता है और उसके लिए पे किया जाता है। ये आज मेरे लिए कुछ नए
भाई ये वीडियो देखकर ना मुझे जो चीज़ महसूस हो रही थी वो ये है कि भाई जो एक क्रिकेटर है उसकी जर्सी का एक एक इंच जो है वो फॉर सेल है, ठीक है ना, अच्छी खासी उसकी प्राइस है। ये नहीं कि आपको जो है वो बहुत सस्ते में मेरा करोड़ों रुपए जो है उसके लिए जो है पे किए जा रहे हैं। लेकिन हाँ भाई देखा जाए तो जो ऑनर्स हैं जिन्होंने जो है पूरी टीम हायर की हुई है, उन्होंने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से जो है वो अपनी टीम की फाइनेंसिंग की हुई है, मोनेटाइज जो है वो किया हुआ है। हम ये तो देखते हैं कि भाई आईपीएल में जो प्लेयर्स होते हैं उनको करोड़ों के हिसाब से जो है वो खरीदा जाता है, उनकी जो है एक वैल्यू जो है वो डिसाइड की जाती है। लेकिन जो है वो पैसा किस तरह से रिकवर होता है ना, वो बहुत ज़्यादा मैच होते हैं, राइट्स होते हैं, बीसीसीआई का भी उसमें जो है वो शेयर होता है, हर चीज़ जो है वो उसमें होती है। लेकिन जो है ना आप कैसे कहाँ से पैसा जनरेट कर सकते हैं, मेरा ख्याल है ये चीज़ आपको जो है ना पता होना जो है वो बहुत ज़रूरी है अगर आप एक सक्सेसफुल बिजनेसमैन बनना चाहते हैं।
बिल्कुल, और मैं कहूँगी कि वीडियोस काफ़ी इंफॉर्मेटिव हो रहती हैं बिजनेस से रिलेटेड के, जब आप मतलब एक आम इंसान की सोच भी वहाँ पर नहीं जाती, बट जो पीक आवर्स है जैसे उन्होंने बोला कि जब सबसे ज़्यादा व्यूअरशिप होती है उस टाइम पर जो सबसे ज़्यादा नज़र पड़ती है, जहाँ पर लोगों की वो एक स्लॉट खरीदना और वो एक जर्सी में जगह खरीद लेना, मतलब अब जर्सी पे भी जगह खरीदी जाती है। बट ओवरऑल मैं कहूँ ये काफ़ी अच्छी वीडियो थी एंड आई होप आप लोगों को भी अच्छी लगी होगी। अगर आपको इसके बारे में पहले पता था तो ज़रूर कमेंट सेक्शन में बताइएगा। आई नो कि जर्सी पर ऐसे लोगोज होते हैं डिफरेंट कंपनीज़ के, बट इतने ज़्यादा होते हैं ये आपने पहले नोटिस किया था तो कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर बताइएगा। मैंने नहीं किया था इसलिए मेरे लिए कुछ नया था। और मिलेंगे आपसे नेक्स्ट वीडियो में। सब्सक्राइब करना जरूर।